Hi everybody again. Today we're going to do a varnishing and we need several items before we start. So if you have a close look here at the papers, each sandpaper has a serial number on it, and the lower the serial number, the rougher the texture of the paper. So 80 paper, very rough, 120 then is a mid paper, and then I have 240 paper here, which is kind of smoother again. We have fillers, in case there's any filling to be done on the grain. We have our safety, and before we go any further, we'll talk a little bit about safety. We have a pair of gloves, safety glasses, and on the product itself, this is a polyurethane varnish. It also has the safety notifications. So in this particular can, it has the fire symbol, which indicates that it's highly inflammable. And then you have the caution notice, which tells you here that it causes skin irritation and it can cause damage to the eyes if it got in the eyes. It also tells you here that you must use in a ventilated area. So before I go any further, I'm going to get my assistant to open the door, put a wedge in it, let a bit of air in. Now, before I go any further then, I'm going to replace my glasses with the safety glasses. And a pair of gloves, stop skin irritation. Now I also have a cork block here, and this helps when you're sanding. You wrap the sandpaper in the cork block, like so, and you sand with the grain in the direction of the grain. So if you take a close look here at this piece of maple, you can see the grain is running vertically here. So I'm going to come along the grain. Now the sandpaper does two things. It smooths and cleans off the piece of timber, but it also scratches the surface of the timber, and that's why we sand in the direction of the grain, so you can't see the scratches. The scratches are very, very important to act as a key for the varnish to stick to the timber. Do a rub here, make sure there's no dust. I'm checking to see, do I need any of my fillers? Just a little bit here in the corner. Now, I find a screwdriver is very handy, taking out a little bit of fillers, popping it into the area that needs to be filled like that. Put the lid back on the fillers because it doesn't be long going hard to leave the lid off. And again, I'm going to use a smoother paper this time. I'm going to use the 240. Final check, make sure that there's no dust. I have my brush already in the varnish, save a little bit of time. Now it's very, very important when varnishing that you don't have too much varnish on the brush. Thin coats are much better than heavy coats. So you dip the brush in to about 1/3 of the brush's height. Wipe it off the side of the can and start on the edges. So I'm going across the grain on the edges, then on the far side, and then I'm going to start with the grain running along. Now try and get the varnish on as evenly as possible, because we don't want any big drips or dark areas. By putting on maybe 4 thin coats rather than 3 heavy coats, you get a much nicer finish. Now again, make sure that you're varnishing with the grain so that you can't see the brush marks. grain camouflages the brush marks. Now I'll just give you an indication of if you do it the wrong way. You can see the lines all the way across the timber. I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not. Okay, so straighten that out again. Now when you've happy that you've covered the whole area, then go over it again by leaning on the brush very lightly and slowly go down along the grain. And you'd be surprised with the nice smooth finish you get. And that's our first coat applied to our maple panel. Now, the can also indicates that it takes 12 hours to dry. So we'll come back to you again to show you how to put on the next coat.